chose to spend your time today, Friday evening, to hear a very informative and very interesting talk, which will be delivered by our own member, Mr. S.D. Tatra. I don't think he needs any introduction. Every few days in one of the Parsi media, you will see his write-up as well as the photograph. We firmly believe in WZCC that there are very few people who very firmly believe in doing good work, but they keep a low profile. And S.D. Tatra is one of them. A man of few words, totally committed, extremely hardworking, and always smiling. And we are extremely proud and happy that he has agreed to spend his time today in the evening to give us something which is very interesting and invaluable, how to use this gadget really effectively. We in Tatas believe in modesty, we believe in keeping a low profile, and when I saw the portrait of Mr. J.R.D. Tata there, I was immediately reminded of what he said initially when he was told that he has been conferred the highest civilian award of India, Bharat Ratna, and when one of his close colleagues told him that, sir, you have been awarded Bharat Ratna, he said, why me? This is the height of modesty people have, and we are happy that S.D. Tatra also believes in modesty. Thank you, S.D., for being with us. All yours. Go ahead. Thank you.
A few of the possibilities where we can improve our productivity. Are you able to hear me? No? Some possibilities where we can improve our productivity by using simple things which are always available to us, both on the computer as well as on the mobile phone. 2 or 3 options we will go through, and then we will see what we can do with. This is our agenda for the day. We'll just quickly look at 2 or 3 systems like Dropbox, Box, SugarSync, Google Docs. Then we'll look at one very interesting productivity tool called Evernote. And then we'll run through a few of the Android apps. Unfortunately, he has not been able to connect the sound, so even our computer is not able to project the sound, but we will bear with it. Typically, technical people are very lazy people. Every time they are lazy, they are disorganized, and what happens is that when we are looking at the entire gamut of work that we do, we work with different clients, with different people, with different projects, with different scenarios, different places, different gadgets. Typically, how many gadgets does a person have on an average?
2.
Minimum 2?
Yes.
Yeah? On an average, they talk about 2.5 gadgets a person has across the board. You have a computer at home, you have a computer at work, right? So you do something at home, you forget where it is, you put it, when you go to work, you don't get it. When you do something at work, you come home, over the weekend, you can't do anything about it. You say, oh, it is in my work computer, this is in my home computer, and we have a total mess. So this is one basic thing. Computer guys are very disorganized, they have multiple gadgets, and ultimately we want to access anything, anywhere. That is what the basic premise is. Secondly, what all we are going to see today, they are like a Parsi secret. What is a Parsi secret? Everyone knows. If I tell you a secret just now to him, somebody else will know within 10 minutes. Okay?
No secret is secret.
No secret is secret. So here we are saying that if I put something here, it should be available everywhere else. That is what their logic is. I give a secret here and I leave it behind. I can access it on all my other gadgets, whether I have 2 or 20. It doesn't matter. So it should be across gadgets. It is like magic. You put something here and it appears there. You put something here and it appears there. Agreed? So this is the basic premise on which we will base our. For that, what we call a cloud computing. What is cloud computing? Basically, the information is stored in the cloud somewhere else. It is not stored on your own machine. It is stored somewhere else on the net, and it is accessible from various devices accessing the same. So what do you need? You need a system, that is a computer or a mobile phone or a tablet, whatever the device may be. You need a device and you need an internet connection and some secure means of connecting to the device. Obviously, everybody cannot access it. Your data has to be yours only. So these are the 3 prerequisites for the magic to happen. And all the things that we are going to talk about is about magic. You put something in one place and it is available all over the place. It should be accessible easily, it should be secured, and it should be day and night, time-wise. There is no time gap, there is no time constraint, there is no space constraint. Basically, it is time and space independent, location independent. So wherever I am, I should be able to access it. Let us see the first thing, what we call as Dropbox. How many people use Dropbox here? Quite a few. So you know the concept. What happens is you install once on your computer and every device that you want the data to be on. You go to a site called Dropbox.com, download a free download. This is free, up to 2 GB, it is free. You download the stuff on your computer, download the stuff on your mobile phone, download it on your tablet, wherever you want. An icon is made on your computer with a symbol of Dropbox. And the minute you go into that, if you double click on that, you can see all the files that you have stored into Dropbox. The minute you store anything into Dropbox here, it will be available on all your devices which have Dropbox installed. So what you have to do is you have to create a folder here, drop something into this box, and anything that you put in this box is available on all your devices. Whether it's your home device, it's your computer, tablet, it's your work device, it's your mobile phone. It's very simple. Drop something into a box and it is available across the board. Agreed? So this is not very complicated. Dropbox is very simple. In fact, Dropbox is one of the pioneers of cloud computing. The synchronization is automatic, but if you are not connected to the net at that point of time, it will hold it till such time you are connected. Automatically it will do the synchronization. So you don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to remember to copy it, etc., etc. Once you drop it into the box, the minute you get connected to the net, automatically it will synchronize. It will synchronize on the cloud, that is on a site called Dropbox.com, where you can log in and you can access the data from there also, as well as on any of your other devices. Clear? So Dropbox is very simple. Everybody uses all the time. It synchronizes automatically. There is an option on your mobile phones. If you have the Dropbox app, you can even synchronize your photographs automatically. So the minute you take a photograph, it is synchronized to your Dropbox. That setting you can do on Dropbox. Very simple and easy to understand. Drop it into the box and forget about it. And it is available across the board on all your devices. Any questions so far?
This will be accessible to all or only to the...
Only to you, because you will enter your user ID and password. Obviously, when you are logging in, once you make your account, you will put your email ID and you will put your password. whatever password, but the same password will have to be across all the systems. This is available on all the systems, including Windows, including Android, even on Mac. It's available across the board.
This refers up to 16 GB.
Now, 2 GB is free, but if you refer somebody and that person accepts your reference, then you get 500 MB extra space. Every time you refer somebody, you go on getting extra space. Up to 16 GB you can go. Beyond that, you have to pay for it. Otherwise, it is free. So far, it is free.
I suggest those who have installed the Dropbox like me should give email ID so that I can increase my GB. Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah.
And then they can give it to somebody.
Yeah, but I would rather give my email ID.
I have the email ID.
No, just kidding. Any case, you can give your email ID during the break. Yes?
Is it possible to have multiple people access the same Dropbox?
Yes, you can share a particular folder in your Dropbox. You can share it with multiple people. So, especially with office work, what you can do is each department you can have a separate folder and you can share that folder with multiple people. But all of them must have Dropbox installed. That's the only requirement.
And is there any way of knowing who has accessed the file and what?
No, there is no way of knowing that. It's just that it's available and accessible. So this is a very, very basic thing, and it is, as I said earlier, it is one of the pioneers of doing this sharing across the board. Dropbox is one of the pioneers, and therefore it is most popular also.
Can you tell us something about the safety of this application?
The safety is as safe as your home lock. How safe is your home lock? If you pass on the keys, it is available to everyone. Okay? And if a smart lock opener is there, he can open it in 5 minutes. It is as safe as your home lock. Doesn't mean that you don't lock your home. Yeah? You have a user ID and you have a password. It is protected to a great extent. But there is nothing which is 100% safe. It is as safe as walking on the road. Somebody can knock you down. Doesn't mean that you don't walk on the road. Yeah, it is as safe as that. Normally it doesn't happen. That's what we say. Okay? Any of these, when you have a user ID and password, try to keep your password. See, all this we go on saying, but nobody follows. Try to keep your password protected. Try to keep your password which is not legible or not easily decipherable. Keep your password changing every 3 months. Change your password. Nobody does it. Across programs, don't keep the same password. Nobody does it. People use the same password across programs. Everybody knows. We must have security, but
But if you give different passwords, how do you remember them?
there is a way of doing that also. There is a small program. There is something called Keeper Security. Just look at it. Keeper Security. You download that program and it will generate passwords which you yourself will not remember. Keeper. K-E-E-P-E-R. Keeper. Keeper Security. One word. That is one. And second is a very interesting add-on. It's an extension on Chrome. It is called LastPass. LastPass. Go to lastpass.com, download the extension. What it does is it generates the password for you, which will be a very funny password which you yourself will not remember. It is called, what they say is this is the last password you ever have to remember. That is LastPass.
P-A-S-S.
P-A-S-S. You install it in your Chrome, and any site you go to, it will ask you whether you want to remember this password or not, or you want to generate a new password. It will generate a new password, and every time you go there, if you have LastPass installed, it will allow you to access the site. And you don't care what the password is, honestly. It's a very beautiful application.
Now coming to password, some applications, they don't give you an option, have you forgotten your password to retry? I mean, you are coming to Evernote, but I had a difficulty in Evernote. They don't give you an option to retry, forget the password.
Okay, now LastPass and keeper security. Keeper security especially, what I mentioned earlier. They will allow you to attempt 3 or 4 times. After that, they will destroy all your data. You yourself will not be able to get it. So you have to be extremely careful, and you must remember at least one password in your life.
That is the last pass.
So keeper security also has this. The more times you make a mistake, then you are
You can open a second account then.
You can open a second account. Yeah.
With
With a different email ID. Yeah?
Data
Bad luck. At least something you will have to remember. You can't be so lazy. So Dropbox is simple. That's a different topic by itself. Maybe we can have another session on different ways of having passwords. How many of us use Google Drive?
Google Drive.
Or earlier it used to be called Google Docs. What is Google Drive? It is also a place where you store files which can be accessed from anywhere else. It is just like Dropbox. It will install It will install something small on your computer. There will be a small icon where again you can make folders, you can drop something there. This is all with your Gmail user ID and password. It is as simple as that. Drop something there, it synchronizes, you can share it. But the major advantage is you have live collaboration. Once you share it with someone and then you are working on a document, more than one person can work on the same document at the same time. You have more space. In Gmail, how much space do you have? 10 GB, 15 GB depending on your usage. So your Dropbox was giving you 2 GB up to 16 GB with sharing. Here you can get straight away 10 GB, 15 GB depending on your space. Free. And what is higher is payable, and it is hardly some $2, $3 per month. So you can get 20 GB extra by paying $2-3 per month. It's a very small thing. Earlier it used to be $5 per annum. Now they have made it $2 per month. So it's not a big deal. But 99% you don't need the extra space. Secondly, you have this option. Google is very good with search. So you have the option of searching within documents. So when you do a search, it does not only search the file name, it also searches within the document. Now that is a very big advantage. It searches inside the document. So if you are doing a search of a particular word, it will search inside the documents also and show you all the documents which match that search. So that is the benefit of Google Drive. Otherwise it works the same way as Dropbox. You drop it into a particular location. All the folders you can create there. So you can use Drive for something else. You can use your Dropbox for something else. You can do it for different projects, different things at some point of time. You have multiple projects, multiple people and multiple areas on which you work, and you can collaborate on that. How many people here use Gmail? So everyone who uses Gmail has this facility. Go into the options there. In Gmail you have option. Would you like to see it? In Gmail you have this box here. You see this small one? Apps. Just click on that and you will see all the Gmail apps coming up. One of them is drive. Go to drive. You have drive. When you go to drive, here lot of folders I have created, so they are all there. And there is an option here. It says connect drive to your desktop. Just click on it. It will download the application. It will install it on your machine. On your desktop, an icon will be created, and your entire contents of your drive will be replicated on your desktop. So the minute you put anything on your desktop, it will be replicated on your drive.
Any file format?
Sorry, any file format. The other advantage of Google Drive is that it has its own inbuilt editor also. So if you are using a doc file, it will convert to a Google Doc and it will start allowing you to edit it. That is how you can do the collaboration. As we said earlier, you can do collaboration. I can be typing here, you can be typing there on the same document and make remarks, especially when you are having a legal contract or something which is little controversial and you want to sit across the table. You may not be sitting face to face with the person. You can be sitting n number of miles away and you can be working on the same document. And it will, you have a final document which you can save and keep it for yourself. Where the concept is the same, it is available on the cloud. You can download it, share documents, but here you can assign any folder on your computer and say you put it in SugarSync. Instead of putting everything in one box or one location, physically you are dropping everything into a Dropbox or into a Google Drive. Here you can assign, you can say that this folder will be synchronized. That's all. So anywhere on your computer, it may be in C drive, D drive, anywhere, you can just say synchronize this folder and it will synchronize. All these have corresponding apps on the mobile so that when you go out on your mobile, when you look for a particular document, you can download the document directly. So that is a very simple thing to do. Here you have 5 GB free and then additional space you have to pay for. Yeah.
So if we do Google Drive, then every document is automatically synced.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, but if we do SugarSync, then we decide which folders get synced.
No, every document which you put into the drive folder. See, in Google Drive or in Dropbox, there is a specified folder. Correct? You drop anything into that folder, it will be synced.
Okay.
Here, in the case of SugarSync, you can have your folders all over the place and you can say sync this, this and this folder. That's it. You don't have to put anything specifically into a particular location. Otherwise, you have to keep 2 copies. One you have to put in Google Drive, one you have to keep it outside if you are working on it. And then every time you have to remember that I have to now copy this into Google Drive or into Dropbox. Here, what you can do is, you can go on working on it, save it there and then, and it will be synchronized. You don't have to put it in a particular location.
Whatever you delete, does it go in a trash can or it gets deleted completely?
It goes in a trash can.
So you can...
Because whatever you have, see, ultimately it is a folder on your machine. So how your machine is reacting, it will react the same way. If you delete something and it goes into trash, fine. If you say shift delete, you want to delete it forever, it can get deleted forever.
And in Google Drive, if you are collaborating, if you are sharing, do you have to share your password as a Gmail password or does it have its own
No,
password?
it's a Gmail password. It is linked to your Gmail account.
So we have to tell that other person also
No,
the password?
to that person you don't have to tell. There are 3 types of sharing in Google Drive. One is view only. He can only see, cannot do anything. Second is he gets editing rights. And third, he gets deletion rights. So you can decide what rights to give to that person and you give him a link. That's all. You don't give your password. Never ever give your password. So when you say, share this folder, he will give you options. You want to, what rights do you want to give? Give that fellow's email ID and that's it.
So sorry.
Yeah.
Google nowadays gives a this thing, okay, have only one password. I mean, we have only one Google account with a password and use it on something.
So
like
your Google Drive also you can use with the same password, but you don't give the opposite person that password. His question was whether you have to give the opposite person that password. Even in Dropbox, you never give your password to the opposite person. Whoever has the link will be able to view that. That's it.
That is in the public folder that you
Yes.
have to put.
Yes.
Basically,
It is not necessarily public. It is only those who have the link, and the link is a very long link which you will never be able to remember. So you just send the link, somebody clicks on it, and that's it.
So when you want to share something, you get a link. How exactly do you
Yeah,
getting that
you get a link.
to give it to somebody? How do you get that link to give it to somebody?
When you say right click and say share this, you will get the link, and then it will ask you what the options, whether you want to give him rights only to view or to edit or to. And if you give editing rights, Google also tracks who has edited what at what date and what time.
And you can view
So
that.
all that you can view it.
You
But
can
I'm not getting into that detail because our focus today is not this. Okay? So I'm not getting into the details there. The possibility exists that when you do the editing, or you may do the editing today morning, that fellow is in USA, he does it in the night. So next day morning you will see a different document. There are so many pluses and minuses. So you can say track the document, it will show you where all he has made changes, what he has deleted, what he has added, what he has modified, everything you will be able to see. Okay? Now here I wanted to give you an interesting video, but unfortunately the sound is not there, so we can't really talk about that. But we come to the father or grandfather of sharing, and that is what Evernote is all about. You just take down this site, thesecretweapon.org. There are lots of videos there. The first video is what I was going to show you here just now. But unfortunately, I cannot show you. Thesecretweapon.org.
It is your site.
No, it is not my site. It is typically what happens is, as we said earlier, we do things on different devices, at different places, at different times, for different projects, for collaborating with different people. So there are so many things that we are doing. Typically when we are small, what is our universe? When a child is born, what is the universe? Only the home. Then it starts going to school, the universe expands, you have friends in school. Then when the child goes to high school or to college, what happens? The universe expands still further. There is sports, there is activities, there are projects, there are friends, there are hobbies, so many things are there. So ultimately, the universe keeps on expanding. When your work life, it still expands further. You deal with so many customers, suppliers, etc., etc., etc. Right? And to keep track of all that, there is no single thing. Typically, how we have been seeing all this, Google Drive, Dropbox, SugarSync, how you store things?
Dragging and dropping.
Dragging and dropping, but how do you organize yourself?
By making folders.
By making folders and subfolders and subfolders. That is all that we know. So ultimately, the concept is of a physical filing cabinet. You have a filing cabinet, you have folders there, and you have files inside the folders, right? This is the typical way of thinking. Now we have to think in a different way. When the universe is so big, do you remember where you had put what, when? It's sometimes difficult. When you are handling so many projects, so many people you are handling, suppliers are there, customers are there, production issues are there, friends are there, home front is there. So you have so many issues. So how do you remember which folder I have put what at what point of time? That becomes an issue. So what we need is, we need a single repository where you want to collect all the information for action. That is what ultimately our bottom line is. There we are putting things in files and folders and then forgetting about it. Here we have to put everything into a single repository, and that is what Evernote is all about. Okay, let me just give you a brief overview of that. How do you install Evernote? Again, go to evernote.com, download the application on your machine, you will get an icon, and that is how it works. Similarly, in your mobile, download the app. Now, Evernote is across all devices. Again, on Mac, on Windows, on Android, is across the board. Evernote is across the board, and that is why it is so much more powerful. If somebody has a handheld, he has an Apple, and on the computer he may be using Windows, so it could be multiple things. Everything is synchronized. So what are the 3 steps? First step is collect all the information, emails, tasks, ideas, to-do lists. Typically these are the 4 things which everybody does. One is inputs come from emails, then you have tasks, you have to do this. Then you have to-do lists, and then you have ideas. Something goes in your mind, I have to do this sometime in my life. There are so many ideas like that, we just vanish. You remember the great ideas you had 2 years ago? We all forget. Sometime, somewhere I will do this. But then we never remember it. The basic line of Evernote is remember everything. Once you put it in the repository, it will remain there for all time to come, till such time you go and delete it. So you have to collect all information in a single repository regardless of origin. The origin can be a phone call, the origin can be an email, the origin can be a discussion, a personal discussion, origin can be a letter which you might receive. So many ways inputs come. Are you with me on this? The inputs can come to me in so many ways. I have to collect all that into one single repository. When you go to your mailbox, what happens is only the mails are there. Right? If you go to your folders, only what you have saved in those folders is there as files. Nothing else. Here you want to put all your information regardless of origin, and as and when they occur. You are traveling on the flight, you want to put something, you should be able to put it. When you are home, next to your bed, you remember something for tomorrow morning, you should be able to put. Typically, how do we do this? We write it on slips of paper and we forget where we put them. Typically, this is how it works, right? We write on slips of paper. Lot of times people have a diary. They try to put meticulously in a diary. At the end of the year, again to copy everything that is pending is impossible. Right? You have so many things which will remain undone. So how do you carry forward? It's a very difficult thing. So here the idea is to put all of it into one single repository which should be easily accessible. Second is you have to organize. How do you organize? Typically folders. That is what we talk about. You organize everything into a folder. Can you think of any other way to organize your stuff? Yeah? Date-wise. Date-wise is another way of organizing. Yeah? Folders is another way of organizing. Here we have to break out of the folder mindset. Here what we do is we have multiple notebooks which are like folders. A notebook is a simple device. We understand a notebook. It's a simple device for note taking. You have one notebook for customers, we have one notebook for a project, we have one notebook for a homework, etc. etc. So that is one way of looking at it. Now what we go is beyond that. What we do is we give a context to each of the notes that we create. What could be the context? What could be the context to a note? Suppose I have a particular project. So I put it in a project note, project XYZ. I have a certain project with say RBI. So I will put it in RBI notebook. That is the task that I have to do. That is the work that I have to do. Next step is, now if I have an RBI project, I have to deal with people within my bank. I have to deal with some outsiders. I have to deal with some people who are friends who might help me with that work. So there are so many contexts to that. Typically when you were young and you went out, what did your mother always ask you? What are you going to do? Where are you going? When will you be back? And who are you meeting? These are the typical contexts. Any task or any job that we are going to do will have typically 3 or 4 contexts. You can define your own context. I am not saying this is the only way, but this is one of the ways in which you can organize yourself. So the contexts are when, what, who and where. When you want to do it, you want to do it immediately. Is this something? This is a time context. When do you want to do something? Second is the what context. What is the task? Third is the who context. Who are the people who are going to collaborate with me on this task? And lastly, there is a where context. Typically when you are working and your wife calls you and says, don't forget this when you come back. I am telling you. Okay. So you have to remember that when I am in the market, I have to buy this. Or when I am going to town, I have to do this. When I am at home, I have to do this over the weekend. When I am in office, I have to do this. So these are the 4 contexts under which you can organize yourself. Again I am repeating, this is only one way of looking at the problem. You can look at it in any way you want. The choice is wide open. This is not compulsory. This is one way of looking at the problem. So what you will do is, you will have one notebook and then you will give different labels to it. Okay, these are called tags. So you will give different labels to a particular task or notebook. Okay, and then depending on the label, then if you are in the market, you can see all the tasks that are there for the market. If you are at RBI, you will see all the tasks of RBI. If you are visiting a client, you can see all the tasks which are for that client. We will see how we do it. This is just a broad framework we are giving. And the last thing is the system should be available and synchronized regardless of location or device. The system has to be available and it should be synchronized regardless of the location, regardless of the time, or regardless of the device. I might be using a Windows phone here, I might be using a Mac in my office, I might be using a Windows machine at home. Whatever the device, everything has to be synchronized. Are we clear on this? Do you want a break now for 10 minutes?
Yeah, tea break.
Or you want to continue?
No, continue.
Whatever. No, I can go on.
Yes, carry on.
Yeah.
You see as to what you go, what you have to do when you go to the market or this. Now, only when you have internet connection, then only. But otherwise, if you don't have internet connection.
What was our first premise? You must have a device, you must be able to connect to the internet.
Absolutely.
So you must have a smartphone.
But then.
If you have a smartphone, you are connected.
Okay. But then there are other applications like Notes which I have, which is also very good, where you can have a page for everything.
Yeah.
Which you can do it even without the internet connection.
Okay. I will solve that problem for you also. The paid version has this option also. So there is an option.
My question was that if you want to locate some document and you remember that in that document you had mentioned Mr. Legacy.
You have mentioned innovation.
So innovation. So if I go to innovation,
yes,
then it will go.
Yes, that is the power of Evernote. You can search within documents, you can search within the files which you save, you can search within PDFs, you can search within images. If you have taken a photograph, can you search within a photograph? Yes or no? In Evernote, yes.
Yeah.
It happens.
So what can you search?
How means it
Just
happens?
text.
Text in the photograph.
Yeah, text in the photograph, not the. It will not tell me it's here. When you take a photograph, suppose you see something in a newspaper and you just want a clipping. How do you take a clipping when you see something interesting in a photograph? Yeah? You take a photograph and you store it and then you forget about it. But when you are searching something and that text is mentioned in that particular photograph, it will come up. Now that is the power of Evernote. Any questions at this stage? Search is very, very powerful. Search is very powerful. Yeah, we'll come to the payment. Everybody is worried about the payment. Okay, the maximum you will pay is $45 in a year. So it's not a big deal. So don't worry too much about the payment. The maximum you will pay. There is a free version which does not allow you to search within photographs. It does not allow you to have offline files, etc., etc. But if you go for the paid version, you can do offline files, you can search within the photographs, you can do a whole lot of things. And maximum is $45 per annum, so it's not a big deal. And you don't have to pay me, you directly pay to Evernote.
What is the limit?
Okay, now the limit, everybody is worried about the limit also. We'll come to that, but I'll tell you, okay, the limit is in a month, you can upload, in a free version, you can upload up to 60 MB of data per month. And in the free, paid version, you can upload up to 1 GB per month. That is the limit. 1 GB is a whole lot of data. Okay, so, and there is no storage limit. If you do 1 GB every month, at the end of the year, it will be 12 GB. At the end of 2 years, it will be 24 GB. There is no limit.
And we have to pay for 24 GB?
No. You pay for 1 GB per month. That is $45
That is
per minute.
And what is the free?
No, $45 per annum.
Per annum.
It's not a big deal.
Per month.
For the type of, I don't think you should go for a free version. I used the free version for about a year, but then I realized that the features that the paid version gives are just far too many. So you might as well go for a paid version.
But 1 GB is very small amount, no? Given photos and videos and
Per month.
For 1 GB per month. Your uploads 1 GB per month. So this is what Evernote can do. Let us see what are the features. Okay, you preempted all this. The notes can be multimedia. So if you want to have a conversation or you want to record a meeting, you can record the meeting directly into Evernote. And it will be synchronized to all your devices. See the power of this. So if you are sitting for a meeting, an important meeting, and you want to record that, fine. If you are taking a video, you can record that directly into Evernote. If you want to give dictation, you can give a dictation and it will be converted to text and stored in your Evernote. It will convert to text also. Yeah? Then, as I said, it is searchable. We'll go to each of these separately. Yeah, go on.
so if you download it say on a black pen
Yeah.
and you dictate into it
Yeah.
and then it goes straight to the computer and converts it to text.
Yes. Extremely powerful. We'll go into each of these separately.
And you can have it on all devices.
You can have it on all devices without any difficulty,
In Dropbox.
like Dropbox. But you see the difference. The power is very, very different. Okay. You have searchable OCR inside PDFs and JPGs. Typically, even inside a PDF, you have to open it in an Adobe Acrobat reader, and then only you can search within it. Evernote search is directly inside the document also. So if you have a PDF, if you have a JPG, you can directly, so if, as I said, newspaper cutting, or if you have a, suppose a magazine and you want to take that article, Typically, what you do is you take it to the scanner, you scan it, save it, then decide where you want to put it, etc., etc., etc. So many steps. In Evernote, you just pick up your phone, start clicking 1, 2, 3 pages, and your note is made. You just give a title, give tags, and that's it. Extremely powerful. It is across devices, it is online and offline. This answers your question?
Yeah.
It is also available offline if you go for a paid version. So certain notes, you can make them offline also. Normally, what is required offline, sometimes when you are traveling, you have your passport details, your tickets, etc., etc. You want to keep it available on your phone. So that folder, because at the airport you can't struggle with the Wi-Fi, it may work, it may not work, you may get connection, you may not get connection. So you have it offline, you can just pull up anything and show it. Or in places where Wi-Fi is not available or net is not available. I visit so many places where net is very bleak and faint, including this place probably. So you need an offline notebook. Right? So wherever you are visiting and you need an offline notebook, you can just designate a particular notebook as make this offline. But remember, if you make all the notebooks offline, you will need huge amount of space on your phone, which may not be possible. And therefore, you may want to keep most of it online. I'm sorry, it is online, and only a few things which are very critical and at a certain place only you want to put it, you keep it offline. And of course, it is synchronized all the time. Any questions so far?
So, are we trying to say that now we have reached where we don't need the other three that you spoke about?
Yes, we have reached that stage. The earlier ones were just to give you the concept, and now the concept is beautiful. Remember one thing in all these, whether it is Google Docs or whether it is Dropbox or whether it is Evernote, in all this, even if you don't have your device, no problem. You can go to the nearest cyber cafe, go to evernote.com, user ID, password, and all your documents are there. So it is irrelevant. Even if you don't carry your device, you are traveling to some place, you are abroad, you want to use that person's computer, fine. Just put your user ID, password, just say don't remember this password obviously, and you can continue working. This is the power of Evernote. And this is the power of the cloud basically. Because the cloud itself allows you to do this. In any of these devices, everything is stored centrally in one place, and all the other devices are only accessing it as and when required. So as we said, the first step is to download and install Evernote. You install Evernote in all your devices with the same user ID and password. You have one user ID and password. I am not too sure whether forgot password is not available. I will check this.
Yeah.
Because I have not forgotten my password so far, but it is something.
That's why I had to discontinue Evernote.
I'll check it out. If I get the answer, I'll definitely.
Because I was always under impression that whatever application you put, you always have a Gmail ID only, everywhere. Not necessary, as you said. I can have a Yahoo or.
Correct.
Okay. Because I was all the time banking on the Gmail ID only. So and it refused to accept it.
No, see, what can happen is you need to write to support.
I did try to support, but then I did not get any.
Look at the knowledge base. Somewhere it should be there. Let me find out. I have not yet figured out that, but I will definitely get back to you. You can just leave your
almost
email
2 months that I discontinued, but
you can continue again. So you download and install Evernote. You create a notebook, just like a folder. A notebook is like a folder. Basically, that is what we said. A notebook is like a folder. There is something called a default notebook. When you create, your first name will be there. In my case, it was Yazdi Kamra's notebook. That's all. It's a default notebook. So if you don't say anything, it will go into that notebook. I have renamed that notebook as pending. So anything that I put into it first goes to pending. Then I decide how I dispose it of. But when I am on the go, I put everything into pending. Reasonable? So you can do it the way you want. You can call it whatever you want. You can call it cabinet, you can call it pending, you can call it whatever. But there is one default notebook which gets created, and then you can create your own notebooks. You can create multiple notebooks, as many notebooks as you want. The limitation here is you cannot go more than 250 notebooks. Okay, that is another limitation. You cannot go more than 250 notebooks. Therefore, what we are more interested in the tagging rather than the notebooks. Notebooks can be only 2. Pending, completed. That's all. I don't need more notebooks. But I can give any tags to it, and therefore I can access it the way I want to.
No limitation to tags.
No limitation to tags. You can have millions of tags. As long as you can remember them, it is up to you. Yeah. And what you asked earlier, you want to search something by the text within the note, it's all open form. You can search for anything. I will show you how it works. So you have one basic thing, creating a note is you have text. Okay, we'll see quickly how this works. Yeah. Here you have notebooks, here you have the notes, here you have the tags. As I said, what, when, where, who, you can define. Then you have something called Atlas, Market and Premium. Okay, you can ignore that for the time being. And some announcements. You can drag a particular note and put it as a shortcut. The note that you access most, you don't want to every time do a search. So you can just put it here as a shortcut. So this presentation I was working on for last so many days, I just put it as a shortcut, so I just click on it and I reach that. I don't care where it is residing, in which notebook, what tags, etc. etc.
Can you explain to me what the tag is?
Yeah.
It's not understood.
Tags is just a label. Okay, on one file, there is a name of the file. This is my accounts file for the year 2011-12. It may have multiple things in it. So I want to put so many labels on it. I want to say suppliers also, customers also, salaries also, whatever I have in that file. I'll just put the labels there. The minute I put the labels, it becomes accessible to me. So if I want to look only at suppliers, I will see all the suppliers in that particular file. I'll show you a typical way of doing this. And on top we have the option to sync. Sync is automatic, but you can set the period every 15 minutes, every 30 minutes, every 1 hour, whatever. And every 15 minutes it will sync. Just remember that if you do something, if you have put that time as 15 minutes and you are doing something immediately and leaving the office, see that you sync it before you go. Because after 15 minutes only it will sync. It is not instant.
I don't understand. Sync means what?
It will transfer everything to the cloud.
Oh.
Syncing is synchronizing it with the cloud.
Sync. SYNC.
Yeah, SYNC.
But when you open it, it will not start syncing.
When you open it, it will automatically start syncing. But suppose, what I am trying to say is, see, suppose you have put a 15-minute time. Every 15 minutes, please sync. I have done something right now and I am closing it. There is no chance for it to sync. So elsewhere also it will not be there. The minute it is synced, then automatically it will be there all over the place. This is a practical tip. This nobody will tell you in the manual. This is something which you do out of usage. There is something called activity and a new note. Okay, let's see how we make a new note. I can just create a new note by going here. What are the options I have? New ink note, new audio note, new webcam note. Because I am on a machine, I am on a computer. When I am on a mobile, I might get further options also. But here I can make these type of notes. Ink note is writing with hand. That is the easiest. When somebody is giving you a telephone number and you are struggling with your mobile, what happens? You just write it down. That is the fastest. But I will not use a paper. Put it in Evernote. And there are shortcuts there. Control N, Control Shift I, etc. etc. So when I say a new note, I get a note like this on the right. See here it has just completed the synchronization. I can set the title of the note. I can write whatever I want to write here. Automatically it goes into pending. As I said, it will go into my pending notebook. Whatever new notes I create, everything will go into pending. Then I have to review it once in a while, once a day, once a week, whatever the frequency I like. All the formatting options are there. Now see, say I want to write a note for my cooperative society, which is say Juhu. Yeah, and we have to now have some tender, painting tender or something. So give tender. So far so good. I can go on adding. But now see, the magic appears. Wherever tender is mentioned elsewhere, it pops up down below. In all my past notes, the most relevant, it will show me this is a tender, this is a public notice for a tender, and these are all newspaper photographs. I have not done anything further to them. I have just taken photographs and stored them. But it is reading within that कि tender बोला तो ये सब हो सकता है. You understand? Now this is where the power is. If you have written something 5 years ago about a tender, it will pop up. Without my doing anything, I am not searching for a tender, I am not doing anything, I am just creating a new note. Here everything is delivered to you. It imagines that this is what you might be looking for also. Or I say, earlier I was talking about, say, RBI meeting. See down below, meeting with RBI auditors, meeting with RBI and so date. Automatically it pops up notes from my repository and displays them. Now whether it was a picture or whether it was a PDF or whether it is text, it is coming up. Is that useful?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Somebody says, hey, yaar, you know everything. I don't know everything. I have a tool which gives me everything.
Can you come back 1 second? How did you go to this?
I didn't do anything here. I just typed RBI meeting.
Arrived at this
New note.
new notes. Okay.
I just created a note. Control N. Okay, I just created a note. I typed something in it and it is showing me some related notes. If I had more space here, it would show me 3. I think on my big screen it shows me 3. Here it is only showing me 2, most relevant. So now MMP home, so many notes I have got, it pops up. So within the same note also, it gives me references of what I have done before in this particular topic or with these particular keywords. Remember, I am not searching. Without searching, it is popping up, which is the beauty of this whole thing. Then I have the option to put tags. So here it says click to add tag. Pending is the notebook. Here we have notebooks. So within this there is pending, completed and 1 or 2 other notebooks I have put. Now I am putting tags. Now I am putting some labels to this. I want to say that this I have to do immediately. So I have created a tag called now, which is number 1 priority. So I say 1 now. Okay, I want to add one more tag. I have to discuss this with say Uday Shetty, so that tag is there. Okay, this is to be discussed now with Uday Shetty. Where it will be, maybe when I go to town I will have to do it. So at town or when I go to the bank, I will want to discuss this. Okay, I can go on putting multiple tags. So the same thing, I have different ways of looking at the same thing. I have different ways of accessing the same thing. Now if I say tag town, it will show me this note also along with so many other notes which are in town. If I say tag Uday Shetty, it will show me all the notes that are tagged with Uday Shetty. It doesn't matter which notebook it is sitting in. Conceptually, you must understand the concept of tags. Tags is just labeling multiple labels to the same thing.
Keywords.
They are like keywords. You may call them keywords, you may call them labels, you may call them tags.
Tag will appear in this column.
Sorry?
This tag which you have created now.
Yeah.
Appear in this new column.
Or I can create a new tag also immediately and it will automatically create a new tag.
Come in this.
Yeah, it is there. You see, when I put when or where, if I go here, it will open up. These are all shortcuts which I have created. So there are so many tags. Who means I have got so many people whom I deal with. So I have a list of people whom I deal with. Yeah. So each of these shows me how many people are there in this tag. There is one note in first or two tags. Yeah, Ashish, you had a question? Ashish, you had a question?
You showed two, and then you said on your laptop screen, your desktop screen, you can see three.
Yeah.
But suppose when suppose I have typed a keyword and I am not finding that particular node visible, then can I drag them out and see something else also?
No. This is just a quick reference.
It just shows three nodes.
It is just a quick reference. And it is just what it imagines that these are what you want. If there is nothing, but this is something is better than nothing. Otherwise, what would you do? You would have to search and then go for it.
Yeah, but then just now you said, you know, to search for town, and
yeah,
you say, okay, I want to go to town, so what all things are there for me.
Yeah.
So it will show.
No, there, see, when you are doing a search, here just now we are talking of just creating a note. You are not doing a search.
Okay.
Here I am not doing anything. I am just entering the data and it is showing me probably this is what is related. It is not, I am not searching for anything. Search is different. We have not even gone to search. We have just gone into add, create a note. That's all that we are doing. Yeah.
How will I, supposing I am using Gmail and I type a letter, how will that letter, how will I put that letter?
Yeah, we'll come to that. We'll come to that. How to put it here, we'll come to that. Yeah.
I'm still confused about this. Where is this Evernote stored? Is it entirely in cloud, or is it also there on your computer as well as?
It is partly on your computer, partly on the cloud.
So if I manage it from another computer from where I started, how does that computer get the information that the file has been changed?
Okay. See, everything resides on the cloud. Number one. Number two is, when you are working on a computer, the system knows that on a computer you have enough space. So there is no issue. So it will download everything on the computer. But on your mobile, it will be selective. It will not download more than X KB at a time. So only when you want to read a particular document, you click it, it will download it and display it to you.
For example, I work on a computer at Worldly.
Yeah.
Then it goes on Evernote in the cloud.
Yeah.
Now I do it at Grandchode. I access that file from Evernote which was there at the Worldly branch. So if I delete or do anything to it, how does that information get transferred to the?
That is what you are synchronizing.
sync that is in the computer at Worldly also means.
Yeah.
It goes and gets synchronized over there also.
It doesn't synchronize if your computer is off. Obviously,
Right.
when you switch it
So
on,
when you switch
it
it
will
on.
automatically synchronize.
So there is not one particular computer which is like a main computer.
No, there is nothing made. Everything is made.
Everything.
Okay. So if you are started working on your Grandroot computer, that will become main for you at that point of
At
time.
that point of
The
time.
minute you save it or you synchronize, now you notice here when I created this note, I didn't do any save or anything. Computer guys are very lazy. You don't like to save and all that nonsense. We don't want to do. कुछ लिखा हो गया, finish. There is no concept of saving. The only concept is of synchronizing. If you see here, there will be a pop-up which will come from every 15 minutes that this is synchronized. That's it. That is the end of my note. I don't have to remember to save it also.
How do you define synchronize?
Synchronize. How does one define synchronize?
In harmony.
Two things. When you replicate them, they become synchronized. Okay, this is equal to this. Remember a Parsi secret. This, when it becomes equal to this, it is synchronized.
It's a kind of update.
It's an update. It is matching the two, basically. There is no difference between the two. Except in the case of Parsi secret, then it can get distorted along the way. Here it doesn't distort. It is the same. It makes an exact replica of whatever you have done. Now if I switch on my phone, this note will be there. Okay? If I switch on my office machine, it will be there. If I switch on my home machine, it is going to be there. It is as simple as that. So I have done nothing. I have just written something here, 1 or 2 lines. I have got some pop-ups here. I have put some tags here. What I can do further with this note, when I have created a note, is I can add a reminder. Okay? When I add a reminder, it will send me a reminder. You can say send me the reminder by email or by pop-up on my phone. It will show me a reminder at that particular date and time. Simple. I want to share this note with somebody. How can I share it? I can send it by email, I can post it to Facebook directly, I can post it to Twitter directly, I can post it to LinkedIn directly, or I can copy the note URL to the clipboard, which I can give it to anyone. So the link is given to anyone and they can view it. There is a business version available where they can edit, collaborative editing, etc. is there, but there the charges are a little higher. We are not talking about that for the time. Yeah.
Do you have a calendar on Evernote?
Calendar in what sense?
In the sense that like you have a meeting on a particular day, somebody's birthday, you have a particular
So you can just
function.
give a reminder. There is no calendar as such. Just like in Google, how you have a Google Calendar.
Yeah.
Normally, how I use it is, I use Evernote for all my tasks and only the calendar part I use it in Google. Okay?
Reminder comes as an email or what is it?
Reminder can come by email, you can put the settings for reminder. It can come by email or it can pop up on your screen. On this screen normally when you configure Evernote, you will also say start Evernote when computer starts. So automatically it gets into the memory. So it will pop up whenever the reminder is required.
What in case of a tab or a mobile?
Sorry?
Is it reminder over there?
Yeah, it will pop
The
up.
tab.
It will pop up.
I mean, if I am not using the mobile, then what?
No, Evernote remains in the memory. If it is switched off, then you don't have
switched
it.
off. I'm not. I mean, it's not in the pocket, and time is there. It's on.
Bad luck. If you have forgotten your phone at home, you can't do anything.
It's in the pocket only. It's in the pocket.
It is in your pocket. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the screen.
Does it buzz?
Does
It is, there is a buzz and just like a normal reminder. When you are having a phone reminder, just like a normal reminder. It will pop up. There will be a buzz. It may be insignificant for you, depending on how busy you are. But there is definitely a pop-up and a buzz. Or you can say that send reminders by email, and it will come to you by email also. Or I think in email there is an option saying that all my reminders for the day, send it to me in the beginning of the day. So it will send you all the an email in the beginning of the day, all your reminders. So I can share a note very easily. Just say copy to clipboard and I can share it. I'll just finish this screen. Then if you want a break, please tell me. They are still saying, I don't want a break. If you want a break, please tell me. We'll Okay, so we'll finish this screen and then we'll take a break. Then we'll go to the mobile. There is something very interesting called info. It gives me the information about this note. It gives me the title, the notebook, the tags, etc., which we know, when it was created, when it was updated, who is the author, last edited by, if you are collaborating, last edited by whom. And there is something interesting called history. You can view the entire history of the note. When it was created, when it was accessed, what it was looking 1 month ago, what it is looking like today. All that history is available to you. So the entire progression, you have deleted something, you have added something in this particular note. The entire history of that particular note will pop up and you will be able to view it. Now this again is available only in the paid version. The history part is available only in the paid version. That in this particular case, of course, it will just, we have just created that, so there will be not much of an history. It is created at so and so time, Indian Standard Time. But if you have multiple access to this particular note, it will show you the entire history, different versions of this note. Isn't that cool? So even if you have by mistake reboot something, you know at a particular point of time. Let's see if I can get a note. Maybe this is something where there may be a history. No, this is just an email. So maybe there are two iterations. This is the current version, this is the earlier version. You just click on the earlier version, you can see what was there in the earlier version. Or you can have 20 earlier versions. Doesn't matter.
But if you are in different time zone, it show different time zone.
It is showing you Indian Standard Time.
In India.
If
you are traveling.
So it will show you that time, no? It will show you the US time.
Whatever time.
When it was edited. There is a area here which is my Evernote area. Okay, it's an Evernote widget. And what it shows me by default is the last 3 notes that I have accessed. Okay? Now typically when you are on the phone, you want to access something quick, right? So if I want to make a note, what I click on is this icon. That is make a note. If I want to take a picture, I click on this item. If I want to give dictation, that is a voice message, it will be this icon, and this is a voice which will be converted to text. We talked about that. Yeah? So simple, I won't go into normal note, but I'll just take a quick photograph. I click on this, my camera will open up. Can you give me something? Okay, so now I am taking this note. Now here, as I said, I can take multiple pages at the same time. So this is one page. Second page is blank. I can add a photo, whatever I want to do. My second page is this. And I just say OK. What happens is it saves the pictures, it will take it directly to the pending note folder. Then I can go on adding tags, etc. etc. Okay, if it was a printed material, it would automatically recognize within the photograph also.
Normally when you go to the widgets, it shows only the relevant icon. How do you get all those details?
So this is the Evernote widget. See, now the note is created with 2 photographs. I can see now on the top automatically it has noticed from my calendar in WZCC talk on productivity using mobile apps, etc. etc. So this is also context sensitive. Now this is important. If your GPS was on, it would even locate the latitude and longitude of this place. And then there is an option where when you are doing a search, we will see there is a search in the atlas. Where like if I have created a note in USA, it will show me I have created 2 notes in USA, 10 notes in Bombay, 20 notes in Delhi, etc. etc. This is very, very powerful and it is automatic. You don't have to do anything. This is just taking from my calendar. So here I have all the options here. I have the reminders and then I have the option to put a page camera, attachment, sketch, audio and dictate. Okay.
What is switch?
I will show you what is sketch also. I can add tags. Here the option is to put tags. So all my tags are here. So I can just type whatever I want to put. Automatically the note has been saved into pending. I just say OK. And I am coming back to my home screen. The note is saved. It will be available on my computer also within 5 minutes. This will update it automatically immediately. So within 2 minutes it will be available on my computer also. So if I want to make an audio note, it will just say, you just click on audio. It says now start talking. It has started recording. So whatever I am saying now will be recorded and it will be stored. Now you see the counter there. It is, if you just push this up, there is a counter here which is counting how many seconds I have gone. It is correct. If I say OK, this audio file is created here. I can play it on my machine. I can play it on my. So when you are talking to somebody also, you can take notes like this. This is the other option. If I say save, you will save it in pending. Okay, then the third option is, I'll give a dictation. What would you like me to say? I'll have to say it little slowly for that guy to understand. But if I give a dictation, this is a great way to save notes.
So you're saying that as you're dictating, you're supposed to type the note?
Yeah, it will actually type it. One second, I'll have to try again.
I think you must have a
This is a great way to dictate notes.
I think it can work.
Okay, you can go on talking and it will go on taking the notes. And then text is text after all, searchable, etc. etc.
yeah. Now, is there a particular way, like my fair lady, A-E-I-O-U, I mean, you
No, the typical
pronounce it properly.
the pronunciation you need to be a little slow because voice recognition is a challenge for all systems. Okay, so here if you are a little slow, slowly it will learn your voice also. Okay, so you can dictate notes and it becomes text. And of course you have the normal text option which you can do. Now see the audio. Or you want to write by hand. Typically you want to write your telephone number by hand. So sketch is something which is very powerful. Choose a photo for example. I'll take a photo from the gallery. Or imagine that I have taken a photograph just now. For example, we have taken one photograph just now.
Make sure it's an appropriate.
It's an appropriate. Please close your eyes for 2 minutes. Suppose you pick up something, any photograph.
एक can you explain what this sketch is?
Sketch is an add-on to Evernote, which you can download it and keep it with you. Now there is one document here. Now here I want to mark something, so I'll use a pen, take an arrow, and I'll mark something. This, and this. I can do some marking. I can do circling. Okay. If I do a circle, I can do a circling. Whatever, I can use any shape here. I can put some text. So on any document, if I want to put some annotations, I can do that. So if I have to send this document to somebody else and I want to highlight something, I can just save it in Sketch and send it, and this becomes a part of my Evernote note.
But this marking also gets saved?
Yes, obviously if it doesn't get saved, it has no meaning.
You are sending it to somebody, so again.
No, so I ultimately when I say save, option है ना ऊपर save. This option is there. If I say undo, I can undo certain markings. Okay, I can write some text. I can do some marking like this. These are the some stamps, rubber stamps sort of a thing, which I can put on the document. I can put some markings, I can put some arrows, I can put some circles, whatever I want to do. Or I can actually write. Here it says.
Are you using your finger to write?
No, I am using my stylus. You can use a blunt pen without ink.
On all the phones?
This
So on a BlackBerry, how about this?
is great. Okay, you want to write something? Sorry?
I mean, you can't write on all the phones, right? You require a stylus.
Yeah.
But on
So you can use a blunt pen. I guess you should be able to write on this also. So if you want to write something, you can write something, you can mark something, you can circle something, blah blah blah, save it. Again, all the options which you have for a note will be valid here. You can put a tag, you can put it in a notebook, etc. etc. This again is very powerful. Sketch is an add-on. You have to just download it from the App Store. Just go to Play Store and download it. Once it is there, you can use it within Evernote.
Is this all part of Evernote?
Yes. This is an add-on to Evernote. This you can save it as a note with all the tags and all the bells and whistles.
But then on an old phone, this stitch thing won't work.
If you don't have a touch phone, maybe it won't work because there is no way you can draw or you can.
Yeah.
Okay, when I go, it says discard or save. I'll say save. If I save it, it will save it in my. So any document, any PDF, any JPG, I can do annotations. That is the beauty of this. See the options here I have. Take a photo which I did just now. Choose a photo, draw on map. Suppose you have a Google map and you want to draw some locations or you want to point some locations, you can do that also. Directly you can draw web. You can capture from the web also. So on a web, if you have a page and you want to capture that page and do some notations, you can do that also. Or you can start with blank and do whatever. Like you want to write a number or something. Add a paper document, you can put multiple pages as I showed you. You can go on clicking photographs and they get added to the same note. Okay, so if I have a 5-page article, I can just quickly take photographs of all the 5 pages and they come as part of one. There is a Fujitsu scanner. I found out it is not available in India just now. But if somebody is coming from abroad and you want to have it, you know, that scanner is meant for Evernote. What you can do is, you can do a double-sided scanning and it does 10 pages per minute. So virtually it is 20 pages per minute, it will scan and put it in your note. So if you are doing a large document, suppose 20 pages is there, within 1 minute you can just put the stack of 10 documents, scan it, double-sided it will scan, and it will be part of your Evernote. Very powerful. You can put attachments in a note. When you have a note, you can drag any document from anywhere on your computer onto the Evernote and it will become a part of the note. Audio, voice and dictation we saw. Pictures, videos, anything for that matter which you can store on a computer, you can store in the note. Annotate by sketch, which we just saw, that how you can put markings on a document. Now comes the organizing part. We have created the note. Now comes the tagging part. We talked about tagging. We talked about putting labels to the note. As we said, there can be certain tags for action, there can be certain cases for non-action. It can be a non-action note. Sometimes you just want to store information which you may refer to later on, but there is no action linked with it as of today. So it could be non-action, and you could have all these sort of things as your tags: home, work, life. One day I want to become a spiritual person. It could be sometime in the future. When you are putting your tag for when, you can put it like this. I normally organize it like this. Now is immediate, next is immediately after this, later is sometime next week, sometime in future, and the last one is maybe, or maybe sometime in future. So you can do it the way you want to do it. So you have the context: what, when, where and who. You can mark up images and text on mobile. You need to do this tagging at the time when you create the note. The minute you tag it, then it is accessible in multiple ways.
Is this what will appear in the Evernote, these points?
No, they will not appear. This is how you want to refer to it. This is one way of referring to this. You can create your own ways. It is a free form. You can create your own tags. Tags are all free for all. There is no fixed tag. As I said, if you go to the secret weapon, it will help you to organize your notes. It shows you one way again. This is not the only way. You can do it your way. Search. Obviously, if you have put everything in your repository, then you need to search it. How do you search? Simple. Just now you saw map. You saw how I searched. Just type any word, and if it is part of any note or any image or any text, it will search it. So that is the simplest way of searching a note. That is direct. No brains to be used. Just type a text and it will search all over the place. Second is by notebooks. Notebooks is what we saw as folders earlier. So if you go to a particular notebook, you will see all the notes in that particular notebook. Tags, it could be a series of tags. Now you can have multiple tags, multiple notebooks in which you are searching something, or you could have a free form search. It is as simple as that. Advanced search. Maybe a few things we will just run through here, since we are running short of time. What time do we have to close? We can go up to 11. I can go up to 11, but you want to stop at 9.
No. Ask
Let's see how we proceed. I'll try to make it a little faster. When you go to advanced search, what happens is you can use all these keywords. I'll show you exactly how you can use it, but just see this conceptually. If you want to exclude certain words, you can put a minus sign before that. So suppose I want to find Evernote, but not a presentation. So I'll say Evernote minus presentation. So it will not search all the notes which I have. If I put Evernote presentation, both the words, it will search any of the words. Just like in Google search. If I put two words, it will be any. If I put this minus this, it will be this without this particular word. If you want an exact phrase, you have to put quotes, just like Google. If you are searching in a particular notebook, you can say notebook : whatever the notebook name is. If you are searching in the title, you know that in the title I have put something, and you put in title colon and then a particular word or a multiple words, you have to put a inverted commas after the title. In a tag, this is interesting, you can say created colon a certain date. You know that there was a meeting on a certain date, I had created this note on a certain date, you can search by date. Or you can even say created day -1, means yesterday, day -7, 1 week before, or week -1, or created month -1, 1 month ago. You cannot have plus because you have not yet created it. So it will always be minus. And then you can save and sort your search. Let's see type of templates in the search bar. Then it automatically all the notes which are having templates as a word came up. If I want templates plus Gmail, it will show me only those notes which have templates and Gmail in the particular. If I don't put a plus, it will be templates or Gmail. If I put a plus, templates and Gmail. Okay, that is another way of searching. The other way of searching simply is go to the notebooks and say pick up any other notebook. Say I pick up this note that I created online. It has come here. Okay, in pending. So I can pick up any notebook. In tasks I have pending and completed. So I say all completed. So all the completed tasks will come up. If I go only to pending, all the pending tasks will come up. See the audio note also which I recorded on the phone, it is already here. Then there are tags. If I want to see what, so I have so many, I clicked on when. There are so many projects I have. So if I click on any one of them, all the notes in a particular project, I will be able to see. This is tag wise. But I can search for multiple tags saying that tag colon. See now this is another way of searching. I am saying tag colon Juhu Chandan, that is my society, in title colon meeting. So in Juhu Chandan tag, in the title I should have meeting. So I can search in multiple ways. Are we getting a feel of this?
Yes, yes.
What is being searched comes up here. Viewing 9 notes from all notebooks matching all of the following. Tagged with Juhu Chandan and advanced filter is meeting. So it will also explain to you what you are searching for or how you have defined your search. If you want to save this search, you can go here. One is you can sort the notes. Whatever you are seeing here, you can sort it based on title, created, updated, size, notebook, etc., etc., etc. Subject, city, state, country, address, when it was synchronized. Whichever way you want to sort the notes, you can sort it as per that. If you click on this, you can save a search. For example, a certain combination you search very often. So you can save that search for future searches. So every time you don't have to type the same thing again and again. You can save a search for future use. Okay, so this is a very wide way of searching. Let us quickly see how the searching works on the mobile. Yeah, I go to Evernote. If I click on search down below, there is something called advanced search here. Okay. Whereas now here I can search by notebook, I can search by tags, I can search by near here. Some note I have made in this area, I can search by that. But for that my GPS has to be on all the time. Just now my GPS is not on, so it will not be able to sense. But if you see here, the options are very interesting. It says anywhere within 1 mile, within 5 miles, within 25 miles. So if I remember that I have made this note in a particular location and I am looking for that particular note, I can even search for that note, location wise. Interesting?
Very powerful.
The other way is I can search for notes which are emailed to Evernote, which are clipped from email, which are coming from a web page, which are coming from a mobile, which are images, which are audio, which are ink notes, which have attachments, etc., etc. So I can search it with whatever I want to search it with. Okay, it is not just a text search. The search has a whole lot of options, which are, again, these search options are not available on the computer version, they are available only on the mobile version. Even in to-do, when you are doing a to-do list, when you are creating a note, there is something called a to-do list where you get check marks. So if you do a check mark, if you do tick, that means it is completed. And if you don't tick it, it is incomplete. Here you can say, show me all the notes which have to do, or which are completed or which are not completed. So you can search that way also. See here you can even search by longitude and latitude. When you say near here or within 5 miles, automatically it will search by latitude and longitude. And once in a while you can just use this link, explore Evernote, so that you get new ideas, new features, added features, etc., etc. And these are the announcements. If they have any new products or new features, they put up in the announcement.
Market.
Sorry?
Market.
Market is other products which they sell. Sharing notes, I think we saw that option where we could share the notes by Facebook, email, LinkedIn, Twitter, etc., etc. Or you can copy the link of the note to the clipboard and paste it in your mail. Email from Evernote and email to Evernote, that is what your question was. We'll see that a little later. Info we saw already on that main screen where we could see the information of the note and the history, etc., etc. And reminder also we saw. Let us see the email option. What we said in the beginning is everything should go into Evernote. So anything that comes to me by mail also has to go into Evernote. Now there are additional extensions that you have to install in Chrome if you are using Gmail, or in Outlook if you are using Outlook. If you are using Outlook, there is an extension available where you can say clip to Evernote, or if you are using Gmail, there is an option, I will show you that option, how to clip it to Evernote. Note, an email, sorry, this is an email. There is an option here on this side. If you see this option, this is a clipping option. If I click on this, it says it will go in my cabinet. I can add tags here, I can add comments here, and I can add a reminder here, and I can say clip to Evernote. So this mail goes and sits in my Evernote with all these tags. So if you have Outlook also, you have a button there, you install an Outlook extension and it will be available to you in Outlook also. So you can clip to Evernote where you have these options. Okay? Now, if you notice here, I have got a little more advanced version of Clipper, which is called PowerBot. PowerBot is an extension which you add in your Chrome browser, which will give you much more than Evernote. Now it is giving you clip to Dropbox also, so you can clip to Dropbox also. You can save this entire mail into your Dropbox account also. But we are not getting into the Dropbox part. When you are talking of Evernote, you have all these options. You can select the notebook, you can add your tags, and all your tags which are there will show up here. That is the beauty of the whole thing. All your tags which you have in your Evernote account will show up here. You can put a comment, so you can make some notes for yourself so that you can refer to it or you can reference it whenever you want it. And you can add a reminder. You can say click to Evernote. If it has an attachment, it will also ask you, do you want to save the attachments also? It will save the attachments also. Down below it will have that option if you have an attachment. Easy? Okay, since we are on Gmail and on PowerBot, some other interesting stuff also you can do. When you start making a mail, you can have this option also. Down below you see this, clip after sending. So the outgoing mail also you want to clip it to Evernote, you can clip it to Evernote. If you use Outlook calendar, see the magic here, and you try to create a note or create an appointment, say. Okay, what I am trying to do is, I am saying meeting okay, I am just trying to put up a meeting, but he is finding out related notes, past notes with this particular keyword.
In Outlook. No, this is
In calendar. In Google Calendar. So if you go to edit event, it will show you all the related notes on the site. Okay, if I am saying meeting at MNB, my last meeting at MNB is coming up here. So it will show me the last meeting. If I want to say, can you please add this meeting, it is loading the note, insert this note in the description, I insert it, and the link is given to me so that I can refer to this when I am in the meeting. See how everything is integrated. So it will show me all the related notes and I can insert. There is something called create PowerBot meeting summary. It will automatically create a summary of this meeting and put it in my Evernote. What is the title, what is the agenda, what are the points to be discussed, etc., etc. Who are the people attending. It will make a nice little small format and shift it to Evernote. So this meeting will be recorded in Evernote. When you go for the meeting, you can start typing the material there. I don't have to go there, copy and paste it here. I can write it.
Doesn't have Evernote.
Sorry?
If someone doesn't have Evernote and you insert, can they see what?
What can you insert? If you don't have Evernote, where will it be linked?
No. I have it. I have that account. I create a link and I put that in.
Yeah. So
Can
when
the
the other person need not have Evernote. He can just click on the link and he can see the note.
Yeah, that's right.
He can just click on the. You don't need to give your user ID, password, nothing.
Yeah.
You can just send this
Yes.
and he will see that note.
Perfect.
So you don't have to go there, copy it, paste it here and then send it. Your note is automatically inserted. So export is also possible, import is also possible. Export is where you saw that you could straight away say click to Evernote, and import is you can just pick up. So So you can email from Evernote, you can email to Evernote. So the entire thing gets integrated. And you have one repository, what we talked about earlier. When you are clipping to Evernote, you can give your tags there and then, shift it there. In your mailbox, you can put it in archives. You don't have to look at it again. You can only look at Evernote, which is going to handle everything for you.
See, what will happen if Evernote stops business?
In the person.
If they go broke and they say stop business,
So our information is gone.
we like Evernote.
What happens? Let us assume. What happens if Google goes down the drain? All your mails are gone. You don't have any answers to that. There will be an option to export the notes. There is an option to export the notes. So from time to time you can export it. But some of these things like Gmail, can you imagine Gmail going down or Gmail not working on a particular day? There is havoc. So certain things you just take for granted and enjoy them while they last. You can use Evernote all over the place. Daily work, research, web pages, cooking, projects, library, health, whatever you want to do, you can do it with Evernote. Only limitation is your imagination. You can use it for whatever. Like somebody is very good at cooking, she can do all sorts of recipes, make notebooks, chicken recipes, baked dishes, etc., etc., put tags and then link it up. You can search anything easily, you can take photographs, put them in, have an audio for the recipe, etc., etc. So the limitation is only your imagination. You can do a library. There was a marriage project. Actually here on the site there are 101 ways of using Evernote. If you send me a mail, I will send this graphic to you. Maybe you will get some ideas what all I can use Evernote for. But as I said, these are only suggestions. The limits are endless. This is something which I enjoy a lot. These are extensions in Chrome. If you are using Chrome browser, these are extensions which I enjoy phenomenally in Evernote. We talked about this PowerPoint, where Google Calendar and mail integration is given. But I enjoy this clearly and the web clipper fantastically. Take any story, and this is how it will look. Something flashing on the right, something flashing on the left. You know, this is how your story will look, typically. Yeah? Now, I am not interested in all this. Are you?
No.
There is an extension called Clearly. So I just click on that. There is a small lamp here. View this page clearly. So I only see the article. Yeah? This is the article. I don't see all that flashy stuff here and there and all. It normally bothers me a lot. Because I am trying to do some serious reading and all this nonsense is there. And it distracts, and sometimes you go haywire and you forget what you were reading earlier. So Clearly what it does is, it gives you a focus and lets you read clearly. Simple?
Great. Great.
It is great. Now something greater. There is something called a highlighter in Clearly. So now I say, okay, highlight this and then send it to somebody.
How do you get content highlighter?
Sorry?
Here on the side, it comes along.
On the right there is a
How do you create this bar?
So there is an extension called Clearly. Once you
Okay.
enter it, once you load it onto your Chrome, then automatically if you click on that, the page will clean up, you will see clearly, and then there are options. You can make something bigger, smaller. I am growing old. I want to see it in large font, in Times New Roman. I like to see it in Times New Roman in a large font. So actually I am working on somebody else's web page and making changes. And then saying, okay, now send it to X or Y or somebody. I'll send this link to somebody. So a new link is created, it will be submitted. I love this. It helps me see clearly. But since this is a third-party extension, I can say go back, and I go back to my original page. This was my original page. Now Evernote himself has created a clipper. So if I install the Evernote clipper here, it gives me the same thing with all the options, but some more options. I can mark something on this page. I can put an arrow. I can do the highlighting. I can do whatever I want to do, and then send this page to somebody. I can say share, and if I say share, I have the option to it saves the clip, it gives me a link, and I can share the link with anyone I want. Yeah, it gives me a link. I can share it to Facebook, LinkedIn, or I can send it by email to anyone I want. Interesting? And here I have my tags. I can add a tag, I can straight away save it to my notebook, whatever I could do in Evernote, I can do it here. I can put comments and save it in Evernote straight away. So I don't have to again come to this page again. It will be automatically clipped and it will be remaining in my Evernote. Yes.
So when you put this Evernote, all this clearly and everything comes on your...
It doesn't come automatically. You have to install all these
plugins.
Extensions you have to install one time. But once you install the extensions, this is always available to you on Chrome. You saw on Sketch, you could put it anywhere. You could highlight, you could put a marker, you can draw lines, you can draw circles, whatever you want to do, you can do, and put it as part of your document, and then say save. Save it in your Evernote account or share it with anybody else. Now, when you go to Google and search something, again I'll use that other, say I am searching for this particular. These are my Google search results. These are my Evernote search results. What is there in my Evernote which is this particular keyword? It automatically comes in my Google search. Again, this is something which you set in your Evernote settings. Once you set it, all your Evernote results also will come on the site. So you can straight away see your notes.
I just want to ask you one question
Yes.
about this search. Now supposing, say, Flash Reader or something, I say search, or I want to install. I mean, like this, I mean, I'll get 10 of them, you know, this, so which one to choose?
That is up to you.
Or I'm installing Skype or something, which one to choose?
Ask you.
I'm on Facebook, he does reply to me.
That is a difficult question. The more you get into it, the more you will refine your search, you will put your keywords in a certain way, and the more effective your search will be. You may not only want to say Flash, you will say Flash installer for Chrome, Flash installer for Internet Explorer. You can narrow your search by adding more keywords. But the beauty here is, if you search for anything, your Evernote account may say, it will pick up the notes and it will show you online. So you already have this in your repository. Say I use another keyword, say yeah, Evernote is showing me certain documents. which are having the word tender. Limitations, we just run through whatever we have said before. Maximum 250 notebooks. No limits to number of notes or tags. So only the limitation is the number of notebooks you can create. Free version, upload 64 MB per month. Paid version, upload 1 GB per month. And other benefits like this, search inside PDFs and MS Office documents. Your mobile app, if you have a paid version, gives you editable MS Office documents. Normally, MS Office documents are not editable, they are only viewable on mobile. Otherwise, you have to buy some MS Office Plus or something, which is a paid application. Here, mobile app gives you editable MS Office documents for free. There is something called MS Pro or something like that, which is a paid version. Here, you don't have to pay for it, you get it automatically. And you have the additional benefit of having offline notebooks. We talked about offline notebooks earlier. I think that finishes our discussion on Evernote. Any questions?
No question, go ahead. With some
We'll have to search for
Search for questions.
Unless you don't go into it, I mean, you won't reach
True. So you need to work on it in a practical way, and the only advice I give is use it, and then you will get the maximum benefit out of it.
Just a suggestion, this type of session should be taken in computer labs.
Yeah, so we'll have a 2-day session for Evernote. I'm organizing something. If you want, you can register now. It's 4,000 rupees.
excluding lunch and
Okay, including lunch. No dinner. So it will be a 2-day session. Really, I'm telling you, we are going to have this session. Very soon we will be announcing it. As I was telling somebody else in the break, we are announcing that where you can actually do hands-on, so that you get time also and you can practice.
You see, I have a question.
Yeah.
In a computer, when you go to Google, all your mails, etc., I have got say 1200 mails and all, no problem. But when you have a Samsung Note, which has a limited memory capacity,
Yeah.
then when you use Evernote, you will get that Evernote will not send everything except what you want.
Correct.
So it will be a better option to use Evernote on Samsung.
See, it is like this. Even your mail, when you're using Gmail also, it is not storing everything on your computer. It is only giving you the headers. When you click on something, it fetches it. So, same thing Evernote also does. It gives you the headers, and then you can pick up whatever and it will download it for you. Just a few other apps which I find interesting, which quickly we will run through. If you are interested in going further.
Yes.
Just 4 or 5. One is Mighty Text, which I use a lot. Mighty Text is an app which you load on your phone as well as in your Google Chrome browser. And then what happens is again a different type of magic. You see this other option here, Compose SMS after Compose. You can send and receive SMSs from your computer. Okay? So when you are in the office, when you are at home, when it is a little more difficult to type on the phone than on the computer. So you can just say compose SMS to whom, Are you there, Philip? Yeah? You can just compose it, enter, sends it.
Since the mobile.
Yeah. It will use my mobile SMS and reach his mobile. Okay, you got that message?
Mobile will be charged or
Mobile will be charged.
But it's going through internet.
It is going through net, but it will use the connection of my mobile.
Yeah. I hope you enjoyed this section.
You got the message? If you reply to this, it will pop up here. So, in office, I hardly touch the phone for my SMS. Windows phone doesn't have this. This is only an Android app. This is only Android.
You download Mighty Text.
Yeah, Mighty Text is an app which you download
From
Is there any alternative for Windows?
Windows phone. Unfortunately, I have not seen any alternative. If I come across something, I will send it to
Please
you.
do let us know.
So you can even send multiple, you can send one message.
Yes, up to 10 at a time you can add.
Okay.
Did you send me a message?
Yeah.
Yeah, that message from Philly Haras, very much. Okay, so I can read it here, I can reply it from here only. I don't need to touch my phone. I can just say reply, or I can say remind me in 5 minutes to reply. I am busy with something, I am on a phone call, so I can just say reply, and the box comes up. I can type multiple addresses. Okay, here my entire conversation with Philly Karas is here. You see that? All my past messages, etc., will be listed here.
I hope they are Parsi secrets.
But this other SMS you are sending through what? Mobile or through net only? Other one?
Which one?
Earlier SMSs?
Everything is going through mobile only. This is just a tool which connects to your mobile and sends it through your mobile.
It will be recorded on your mobile also.
Yeah,
Same thing.
it will be there in my send box. Same way this will be there in my inbox. Whatever he is sending me, it will be there in my inbox.
So this Mighty Text is doing all this.
Mighty Text is going
This
on.
is again stored in this one, Gmail?
It is not stored in Gmail. It is stored on the Mighty Text server, and you can decide how long you want to store it. So 6 months you want to store it, you store it for 6 months. You can see the entire conversation, which in your mobile you might want to delete, but here it will be there. Interesting?
Is it free or again chargeable?
This is free. The charges are only for your mobile phone. Wherever you are sending, the mobile phone and normal SMS charges will be
You
charged.
have to go to mightytext.com
mightytext.com, download the extension.
to the
Google extension.
the computer.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
the mobile.
No, not mobile also you have to install it. In Play Store you have to go, install the app on the mobile, install the app in Chrome, and then both will be synchronized. There you will give your user ID and password.
Play Store.
Play Store.
Is it there?
Yeah, it is there. But this is not all. Mighty Text does a lot of other things. This is just the starting.
Mightytext.net. Not that.
Yeah, if you type here, you will get all the messages here. This is the classic view, power view, etc., etc. That is okay. You can have your favorites. It will also show you the charge of your battery on the mobile. It will also take photos and videos from your phone onto the net. So if you want to send this to somebody else, you can do it, or you can edit it, you can share it, whatever the image is there. There are options to edit it. You can put a frame, you can put some text, you can put stickers. If it is a face, you can put stickers on this, like this. Do some fun stuff, then send a photograph. You can do a whole lot of things here with the photographs. Then there is an interesting thing. You have something called contacts, where all your contacts, they will be imported from your Google mail. Okay, you have an address book in Google, it will import everything from Google. Automatically it imports and it updates it periodically. But here there is another fun thing that happens. This normally takes a lot of time because I have got more than 3,500 contacts in my mailbox, so it takes a little time to load. But it is worth waiting because something interesting happens here.
It automatically updates.
It automatically updates. So whatever you do on your mobile, you can export. So you just export, and it will ask you in which format you want it. You can export your contacts in that format.
Can you do that for your emails also?
Sorry?
Can you do that for your emails also?
No, whatever is in your address book. On your,
I'm saying, is there any way to back up your emails on your Gmail or something like that?
there are third-party apps available. Google doesn't allow it, but there are third-party apps available. They also store it on the cloud because your Gmail.
Yeah.
But the other thing is that Google has an option that it has an offline mode, where you can store all your mails offline on your computer. Normally, Google stores everything on the cloud. This is the answer to your question also. So there is an offline mode, but then Google account becomes like 3 GB, 4 GB, so everything. So even if you are not connected, you can type on that, compose, whenever you get connected, it will go.
I'm saying more from a perspective of in case somebody hacks the account or something like that.
So that's what I'm saying, that your synchronization of the account is possible. You can have an offline account. So here your contact list is there. I'll just look for Billy Khanas again. Yeah. Now there are two options here. I can send him a message or I can even dial him. So if I want to talk to him, I dial him from here. I don't go to the phone directory, start searching and all. What it does is, it picks up the phone and it dials Billy Khanas. You got the phone? Yeah? It is as simple as that. I don't have to touch the phone, except of course when I have to pick it up and talk. There is no choice. But to dial the phone also, I can use Mighty Text. There are lots of settings here, which we will just skip for the time being. So this is something interesting. Mighty Text is something which is interesting, where you can send SMSs, make calls. If you have a headset, Bluetooth headset, you just put it on your ear and start talking. You don't touch the phone at all.
And you can download all the numbers from your phone onto Mighty Text.
From your Gmail address book. From your Gmail address book. Normally, your phone contacts are synchronized with Gmail.
So if I want to download, I connect my...
You don't have to do anything, it automatically does everything. Your contacts are automatically synchronized. In fact, here you will see, send request to your phone to sync contacts and photos. So it will automatically do everything. So whenever I am adding contacts, I don't care. It automatically does it. Every time I connect to Mighty Text background, it will keep on doing that. I told you we are lazy. Pocket. Pocket is a little redundant now, but it was a very useful tool once upon a time. When you are browsing the net, a lot of times you come across certain sites which you want to see later, correct? You don't have the time to read it immediately and stuff like that. So what you do is, you put it in your pocket. Suppose I went to a particular site and I saw something interesting to read, and I don't have time to read it now, so I want to put it in my pocket. So what I do is, there is an extension called Pocket on top. You see this small pocket there? On top. It's an extension. So if page is saved, if I want to add tags, I can add tags, otherwise just save it. The minute I save it, if I have Pocket on my mobile phone, I open it, I can see all my saved stuff. But now with Evernote Clipper, this doesn't make much sense, because then if it goes to Evernote, it is already there. So if I go to Pocket, the address is getpocket.com. When you find something you want to view later, put it in a pocket. So it will keep on saving all these in a pocket. Login. Tablet, I want anything, any other device, and I install Pocket there. See, this is the article that I saved just now. So all the articles that I have seen sometime or the other on the web, which I felt I have to read later. Earlier it used to be called read it later. Now it is called Pocket. So all the articles that I have yet to read, or I feel later on I will get back to them, I can put them on a Pocket. Then when I am traveling, when I am outside, I am at home, anywhere, I will be able to view it. But as I said, like with Evernote Clipper, this has lost a little bit of its charm. Swift key and Google Now. Swift key, it can be later on expanded. What Swift key does is, it is a replacement of your keyboard on your mobile. You have to download it. It is a paid app. I don't know how much it costs, about 10, 12 dollars.
Now it is now become 99 plus something. You had
there was a special offer.
55.
There was a special offer.
9 rupees.
It was 55 rupees. There was a special offer. Now it is 100 rupees. It doesn't matter really, because it's such a small amount. What it does is it replaces your Android keyboard, and once it replaces your keyboard, it automatically predicts what you want to say based on how your language is being used. It analyzes your mails, your Facebook account, your normal messages, and it automatically predicts. So normally, like when I am typing, say for example in a message, normally my maximum used messages, please call me when you have the time. Because somebody does not respond and I say please call me. So when I type please, the next word it will predict and say call. Next word it will predict. So actual typing time is much less.
Samsung Galaxy has that, right?
Yeah. Samsung Galaxy has it, but this is far more advanced. In terms, it has a learning situation. If you put proper names, for example, then even the proper names it will remember, it will correct the spellings, it will do a whole lot of things. So once you accept that, it goes very fine.
Hey, what about Swift keys, typing out?
The swipe, that is available in the note also. You know, when you move your finger across, it will automatically predict the word. When you say paid, so you go from P-A-I-D, it moves very fast.
It is really good when you are in a bus.
He is an actual user, so he is praising it.
It's
a
really
lot.
good. No, in fact, I got it from you only through Parsi Times, and after that.
The swipe is a fantastic application where you can enhance the value of your keyboard, and it will show you some stats also, how many words it has corrected and how many words it has predicted correctly and stuff like that. Some few thousand words. So you have so much less typing to do. Simple app which is there on all Android phones by default. I won't go into it too much in detail because it is only specific to Android, where it will know from the context what you are searching. So suppose you are here now, if I go to Google now, it will show me the map of the route to my home, it will show me how many minutes it will take to me, etc, etc. So it will be predicting based on your location. And it has a very nice way of search. There is a voice search, so you say voice activated search. If you say Prince of Wales Museum, it will even say that now it is called this museum, and it will show you the route and it will show you the sites which have the museum, etc. etc. So I am just shortening it instead of getting into the detail. Thank you all for a very patient hearing.
No. Yes, please.
Yeah.
That request of mine.
Yeah, what explain to you what it does. When you are seeing your mobile phone, normally the desktop is organized the way it is organized and it is static. What Aviate does is, it makes it dynamic. In the sense, in the morning when you wake up, what do you want to see? You want to see the news. So the news sites and all the apps that you are having for news, etc., they will come on your desktop. Then when you are traveling, the maps app will come on your desktop. So it automatically senses what you are going to see. If you are at the gym, it will show you the way back to home. It will show you some gym apps if you have gym apps on your mobile. In the evening, it will show you some restaurant apps. Whatever the apps you have on your phone, it will identify what you need to see and it will show you on the home page. So you don't have to search for the apps. It is automatically served to you directly. Try that. I used it for a few days. But then there are so many ways in which you can do the same thing, then it becomes difficult. I have to delete apps sometimes from my mobile because I've got more than 200 online. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, you can write to me. Sorry.
Thank you for this wonderful learning experience you've given us. But I want to say something. When I say thank you, what does it mean? A 2-hour presentation like this would probably have taken him 10 hours per hour. 20 hours he has probably spent for this presentation. So you can imagine how much effort and work he has put in for this presentation. Apart from that, he laid the foundation in India for WZCC, and he is today the pillar of strength for WZCC. WZCC is holding up because of that pillar that he has made. So these are the few things that come to mind. There are lots of things I could have said. If I had prepared, they tell me when I come here that you've got to give a vote of thanks. So, thank you so much. This is from best wishes from WZCC.
Thank you.
And all your friends in WZCC. Then this is for you to do your homework. for the 26th, which I said I would give it to you today.
Thank you very much.
All the very best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the patient.